right, here we go. Part 2 of Late Talk Show Tour 4. Now, we're going to start the lobby pretty much before we get to the stage. Now, you can see there's a lot of things around in this kind of lobby area that you can like look and interact. But let's start with this side, the Hall of Memorials. Now, this Hall of Memorials is actually for talk shows that, either just decided to retire or decided to quit and not do their shows anymore. For instance, Pillow Talk, Mr. Foggy Golem. He's a really funny guy and really funny person. Sadly, yeah, he's not doing a show anymore. But however, his memory will also be missed, and he's a pretty popular man. Like, come on. He's nicely suited dressed, very funny, full of jokes, and full of comedy. We did have a few more rooms we would have put up since they quit doing their shows, but we never got time to do it because we were so busy and focusing on building the talk show and getting it done, and not just the fact that, like, yeah, we didn't put down any of the rooms that needed time and attention. But hey, it's fine. But there are the rooms that I can remember is Apollo and Koala's talk show, of course. Some other talk shows I can't kind of remember, but it's all right. But however, it's okay. And also, you notice there's some big posters that David Wilson has made, especially with some of his hardworking Right of Freedom people. The Wilson family wants you to know a good work is a safe work, pretty much. And also over here, you may not know us, but we believe in you. Right of Freedom. Now, there's also a couple of spots you can sit down and relax and just chill out. You can also see there's a couple of fish tanks and a few little things that are animated in a way, but they're not really that crazy animated. They're just cutely animated. And also, we also have a couple of outlines that of the people who are in the crew, like for example, Zypher. And over here, we got Photo, Rosie, the warm animator, Grimmy, the sleepy Grimmy, my friendly cactus, Rosebud, myself. We also got my fiance. He goes by Prototype 6. There's some story background to that, but I'm not gonna explain it because it's too long to explain it. But if you do want him to talk about it, maybe in a future video to explain why he called himself that, then go ahead and ask or leave a comment down below. David Wilson, the Ride of Freedom dude. I don't know why, but I did this outline, but he looks really angry for some reason. But even though he's not, he just looks like that. Also, we got the Glitch Man himself and Exinktix, the Blind Eye guy. And you notice there's also another fish tank over here. And look, it's the guitar. It's in here. And also, you notice there is another guitar over there because that is Zypher's guitar. He wanted a guitar that side where it's buried in the sand and covered, and mine's just kind of floating in the tank because it's probably very light. It's probably like made of plastic or something. Now, next, sponsors of the show. We have a lot of sponsor rooms, pretty much. Like, a lot more than we've ever could have not asked for or could have not been expected when this room came out. For example, we got the Glitch Show. We got Go See Live. We got Rosie Animator Show, pretty much. And we got Blind Eye. Even though he's not a talk show, he wanted a room sponsor, so he would sponsor his room, so he sponsor us. And don't worry about these rec center rooms. We're not sponsoring them. We're just using as placeholders. So just don't worry about it. Then we got Dinkle Wingo's Talk Show. And this was the wrestling group, pretty much, the Fight Club. But their room was taken down, pretty much. Or at least they shut down the room. Because, rec room was shutting down and there was no point. And they just couldn't continue anymore. However, Rose was the one who pretty much recommended. And it's not me, Rose. It's a different Rose, pretty much. And he's pretty great. He was the one that made the guitar in that little fish tank we were looking at. And of course, we got Ride of Freedom. And lastly, Akari Hive, her talk show. It was close to almost officially coming out before Rec Room decided to say, nah, let's just shut down for this next few months, pretty much. And you'll see. And it's so sad that it didn't come out. However, she is thinking about continuing her content elsewhere in a way, like other platform games, and she might even ask you viewers to choose a game that she wants to play in a way. But however, just go check out her channel like on Instagram and as well as follow her Discord and just give her a lot of love. Trust me, she is great. Just as much as Glitch. Just as much as everybody who we've sponsored in the rooms. They're great people. Now, you notice they have these panels over here. These are like just our little rule factors of just what to follow. You can take a moment to pause the video and just read because I'm not going to take the chance to read it. But you also know we have the code of conduct because we follow that, but we have our own rules, so people have to at least follow. I am going to make one pointer of one rule. You must be 30 to be at our show. The reason is because during the time we had a lot of hackers that were at least around that level or lower than that to come into a room and just completely just ruin the event in a way because either they don't have time to enjoy their own creativity or just bored. They just think that it would be fun. But hey, it's fine. After this game shuts down, it's going to be okay because, it kind of does remove a lot of hackers, but they're going to have to probably go somewhere else to do their own hacking. Now, this over here was supposed to be the timestamp, but we never got to do it because we just couldn't find the time and we just didn't have enough time, and especially since Rec Room's shutting down. Now, we also got a warning dry floor sign. We missed this fella from our meet and greet map. We're glad we got this back in here pretty much, and don't worry, the floor is dry, but just make sure you watch your step because you will slip. Now, we noticed there are 2 other posters on either side right here from David Wilson. No talk shows are better without a cup of coffee. Trust me, that is so true. I cannot live without my coffee. I am completely agree with that statement. And then sign up now to be part of the team. Not everyone will be accepted, which is very true. Some people don't know how to handle an event or handle a show and all that. So if you aren't ready, just do as you must just to try. Excuse me, I yawned there. And coughed. Wow. But I'm just going to explain these 2 hallways lead to the same place because that's where the stage is. So normally I would go on this side, but let's go on this side today because you know what? We got to enjoy some coffee. We got to enjoy ourselves. And once you go down here, we have a little trash can. Like we've had attractions all along the lobby. And here we are. Look at this. Late Rose Talk Show's new stage. Now, you guys might be wondering a little bit like, it feels almost still the same, like the old maps pretty much. It may feel that way, but it's actually a lot different. For example, there's actually less seating in the old app that had a lot more seating. Because we try to make our own seating, but the rendering would make them load a bit kind of weird. Like, for example, you can see right here with the railings, they're not loading fully because it's the rendering thing, because of how far you are. Yeah, it was that bad. So we decided to use just Rec Room original seats that was provided, and boom, they didn't have trouble loading at all. So we're not going to worry about the railing though, because that's completely fine. It doesn't bother me too much, but it did bother me with the seating because I want my audience to enjoy the show. Now you notice that there's staircases in front of the stage. You can't go up it though, because there's a barrier here. But however, when I go up it, I'll be able to get on stage. And it's because I have permissions. I have some of the, top things in here and all that. However, you notice we still have our timestamp, like little clock here. We still kept this because, it was pretty great to use, but instead of having it like on each corner like the old map pretty much, we decided to just keep it right here. Because in case people want to look at it, they can look down instead of look up and have their necks hurt after a while. And you also notice there's a lot of designs around on the wall, especially in the lobby, because some of these designs were made by drumroll please, Photo, pretty much. She designed some of these, except a couple of them I didn't, I would say design myself. Actually, I did design myself. is that I designed this microphone right here, pretty much, that I've did of my own, and these roses right here. What Photo did is these flowers and this logo and that maker pen over there, which is really nice. And I love how this map turned out. It's very not like bright, it's very colorful, it's very like fresh and new. It feels something different. Something I could want to stay in this room for hours on end just looking at this amazing view. As well as we kept the sign of, Crimson or Charlie that made, but instead of like having a plaque like the old map pretty much, we decided to just put it on this back wall, enlarge it, and it just makes it so much better and so much more easier. And of course we still have our queuing system, but except this is totally remade, but it's a little wonky because it still has some issues, but we won't have to worry about that because it's once in a while we can have a little strange thing once we're here. Now then, before we continue, like let's say going to the tech room or just literally just kind of exploring more, let's start with the stage. See, I can get up on stage and I can actually walk around here. There's a few things we still kept that I remember, for instance, we kept this carpet that a friend of mine made. I didn't explain this for my last video because I didn't have time, or at least I didn't want to make it too long for it to be hard to edit a video. But this was made by a fan pretty much, and we decided to recolor it so it's a little bit more nicer, because when we put it down, it's more of a gray with the middle of the flower right here was red and green. But instead, we made this a different shade and made all the other roses different shade except for the middle one. The middle one we kept the same because it's nice. And we also kept McGrimmy's little cactus because, we don't want to get rid of our little cactus friend. We gotta keep him pretty much. He's too important. And you can see that normally during our shows there would be signs of who they would sit, who would, but we decided not to, but except for my seat literally has just my name. So because I get the little hot spot, it's my show after all. But I decided to change that up and give people their own little seats and who are in the crew. For example, guests would sit here so they can get off stage right over there, down those steps. Exinktix has his own seat. Glitch, of course, myself, my fiance, Prototype 6, David Wilson, and Rosie Animator. The reason why she's sitting more farther over here is because since she has to control the panel up there, I made it easier if she needs a spot to sit down just for a moment to take a break instead of just chilling up there and not having to worry about being disturbed as much. Now, when I said that if you exit here, you get teleported off the stage, I don't think it does to me yet. No, it doesn't. Okay, good. But just imagine if I was a guest on stage, it would teleport me off stage if I go down those stairs. And it would teleport me, I think, in the lobby, I believe. I don't remember. Or, no, wait, actually, it teleports me right over there, I believe. I don't know. I can't test it because I do have a second account that can test it, but I'd rather not because it would take forever to get my second account back here. However, you notice there's side curtains. There's a back area. And normally at our talk shows, there wasn't really a back area. But now there is. Now, if we go back here, excuse me, you can see there is a nice little cubby area for all the members of the talk shows having their own little changing area where you can kind of like say, hey, I need to change my clothes. I'll be right back. Let me go in the back so it's not disturbing and distracting. And they can just go in their cubby. Now, there's actually a lot more people than what it says on the seats. Like, there's a few people that didn't have a spot because we can only have so many people up on stage. But when there isn't someone, they can fill them in if they are available. Like, for example, we got our Rosie animator, who's our tech person. We got Photo. Hello. And we got my little spot. It's not really much to say. Grimmy, Joe Mama, Cypher, Prototype, Glitch, Exinktix, and David. Now, each room actually is designed of, like, depending how they express themselves. For example, Photo has a photo because she likes to look at herself. I have a room dedicated with photos and a couple of items that were really meant to me and made by me, and some were given to me. So I kind of put them all together like that. And of course, we got Grimmy, he's got cactus, and little pieces of sand you can mess with. You can actually physically touch them. For example, let me get closer and lift one. See? You can physically touch them. We didn't want to put a whole pack of sand because that would be a lot of bits and that would lag the room. So there's a few bits. And Joe Mama. And honestly, Joe Mama is one of the most few members with her room fully almost decorated. Like, it is absolutely packed in here. It is really hard to move in there. But you know what? I like it, and it's kind of funny, and it's very creative. Now, if I go over here, you can actually climb up this ladder, as you can see, and get up here and go in the second level where changing rooms. Now, here's David's. It's not really decorated as much because it's got, like, his poster and the Right of Freedom and a little tag. But that happens when you don't have time when Rec Room's shutting down to decorate. And here's one of the full decorated rooms as well from Exinktix, since he's a student blind eye situation. If you recognize some of the things that's here, like from his map, or at least you know him personally, then yeah. And as you can see right here, if you haven't heard, Tick was actually a currency of Roblox money, pretty much, that you can use. That's what it used to be called. And Exinktix was a really big fan of that, but sadly, since it's no longer around, it's only a memory at this point. Or Tick, or was it Tick for Rec Room? I think it was Tick for Rec Room. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, pretty much, please correct me in the comments below, please, because I'm bad at that sometimes. And then we got Glitch, which just has nothing because we never had the time to finish it. Especially my, my fiance, and Viper as well, because we couldn't have time to get everyone's done, but at least some were actually done that you can have a time to explore. But you won't be able to explore back here, but at some point during one of our last shows, we were able to let people come back here and just explore and just take a look at it and just mess with things. Like, we got a nice forklift, we got a couple boxes of course, Blind Eye and Right of Freedom. And this is little Rosie's thing, like she's got a little sword going on. You can grab it and maybe kind of use it, but not really. But it's actually mentioned for her. I don't know what she's doing it with, but I think she has some plans that I'm not even going to say. But there's also a couple items here you can mess with. For example, you can mess with picking up one of the Blind Eye Studio boxes, or the Right of Freedom car, which actually, this one's not broken. This is actually good. This is nice. Let's put these back down. And of course, we got a safety kit of all the things that you need. If you have a headache, we got some Advil. If you got a really bad injury, we have some bandages and some band-aids for small cuts. And there's actually a closed version, so you can hold it and just kind of pretend that you're bringing it out. And of course, the old guitar. We wanted to keep this still because, it's still a good memory, and also you can holster this on your back, which is really cool. Now, if I grab this keys, because this is related to I'm starving a little bit, but also Rosie gave me this because she wanted me to have, like, some keys as just a little gag, just to say, oh, when the talk show is done, I usually close up pretty much. But there's no doors at the talk show. They're just open up a space. It's nothing really much. Now let's head out of here. And let's head up to the tech room. Now there isn't really a way to get up because there's no button like the old room has. But if I can fly up and go here, you can see that there's like that side and that side, same similar thing. Down below, hallways to reach to the tech room. And as you can see, there's the block thing situation that we did, similar to the old room, except this time it's different. You can actually see the block. All you have to do is just walk through, and boom, you are in the tech room. And here are all the buttons. we actually have a lot more buttons than the previous room that we had. So we have the curtains, of course. We can close them if they will close. Oh boy, that's the stairs. Whoopsies, that is the stairs. If I look up, you can kind of see here the stairs open. I did not mean to read that. That's right. But yeah, here we go. Here are the curtains. You can close them. I think you can close them. Oh, I guess those are broken. Well, broke them. That's okay. But also, we still have. Oh, that's the backstage curtains. Again! I'm silly. I am reading things wrong, pretty much. That's the backstage curtains. If you look over there, I'm going to try and angle myself so you can see. Yeah, we have backstage curtains. These are the curtains. Oh, that is funny. I love when I make myself you know, scarce. And we do have one sound button you can click. For when the curtains open, we have it all cheers situation. So, but we're not going to click that often because sounds things can be tough. And now we have this little thing. This is our timer. Every time when we have people up on stage, we give them either a 5 minutes or 10-minute timer. And I would use my phone in real life to hear it if it goes off. But then sometimes I would forget. So, Rosie, with her lovely, circuitry, made a physical one in Rec Room. So now it will be easier to do things in a way. And it's so much nicer. So much better. And I completely love it, and actually made a lot more sense because it does go off and I can actually hear it in the game and I can finally move on to the next person. And of course, we still have our notifications when it comes to 5-minute break, 10-minute break, so sharding. And of course, we have our own music. I would say officially, but finally have some of our own music that we don't have to worry about, copyrighted stuff. For example, most of these musics are made with AI. Except for this one, if you remembered, David Wolf's I'm Still Standing. It's still a great song. Now, I'm not going to play these because I don't want, I'd say copyrighted stuff or YouTube flagging me if it is copyrighted, because you never know. But if there's a point you do want me to play these, I'll try and record them at least possibly after this video, or maybe, so you guys can hear what the music sounds like. And trust me, it is really good. And now, these buttons, if you're wondering what these buttons are, let's say I'll press this one right here. See? This is for poppets, pretty much. For let's say if one of our members cannot make it, and even a member that could not replace the person for a little while until our previous member comes back, we'll have these buttons right here to display saying, hey, they're not here right now, but at least they're in spirit. We have a little poppet made for them. And there's even one for special guests, but there's not going to be a poppet made. It's just there for kicks and giggles. We might even just put a blank one right there, just saying, oh, we'll have special guests up there soon, but we can't show who it is yet. And, of course, we have the queuing system of bringing the next person as a button instead of, very complex way. And still, it's kind of wonky. It still kind of works, but hey, it's all right. However, that is the tech room. It's not maybe as glamorous, but it's better than it was before. Now, I'm going to head back down to the lobby. Let's make our way there. Whee! Yeah, it's the only way we can get down, pretty much. And let's go through the coffee aisle, because why not? We're not gonna go through this way. We've been that way so many times. Oh, excuse me. Excuse my yawning. It's tiring to record, but I do hope you enjoyed this video and this tour. I'll be with you in just a moment. We're gonna head back to our dorm room and end the video pretty soon. I'll see you there. And here we are back in our dorm room. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video and thank you for joining me in this journey and listening in. It's been a blast. If you want to see more of my videos of myself, just like doing more talk shows on other platforms, please leave it down in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It is for free. You don't have to though. But also don't forget to support other content creators. Trust me, they'll love it and they'll definitely appreciate it. Not just because they're entertaining you, but they make your day better each time. I know that feeling, trust me. Anyways, I just hope you enjoy this video. And I'm Rosabelle VR from Late Rose Talk Show. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!